Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth and I'm so glad you could join me today. As you can read by the title, this is the video for my February TBR. I know it's early. This is the 18th of January, but I watched another booktuber's February TBR the other day and knew I was going to have to film my February TBR because once somebody else drops their February TBR on BookTube, I have to film mine. So I have a couple of books that I must get on this TBR, if at all possible. One of them is a pre-order, and it is, I'll put it up here, House of Flame and Shadow. If I don't get it till the end of February, that's fine, because these other three books are quite chunky. But before I read House of Flame and Shadow, I want to reread House of Sky and Breath, which is part 2. House of Flame and Shadow is part 3. So I hope I draw something that I can reread this with. I also have to read Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers, because this is a buddy read with my friend Chris and I are doing. And then my classic, even if it goes into March, is Bleak House. There's a young lady on here that is doing a Charles Dickens read-along, and they actually are reading Bleak House this month, I think in December and January. And I will link her down in the description box. But I don't have the book that they're going to be reading next, so I'm going to do a read through of this. And it is quite chunky. So I'm hoping to get some other books, because as you can see, this is chunky. This is pretty chunky. In fact, this is .450 pages, and then this is chunky. I started tabbing and then stopped. Okay, so we know that I have to have my 52 books in 52 weeks. So I have my notebook down, and I also have to have a recommendation from one of my 12 friends. So, House of Flame and Shadow, if I can get to it at the last week of February, that is one of my 52 books. I have to make sure I'm reading it the last week. That could be my 4th book. My Snowman, which is quite appropriate if you've seen the weather. So I need 3 other books from my challenge. I hope it's not all the books that I picked last time, because they won't be appropriate for any of the books I need. A library book. Okay, I have to do all my library books on. We're going to come back to that one. I think I have 2. I do. So let's look at this one. A book with a BIPOC protagonist. And a book published in the 1800s. Okay, we're doing good. Before I Let Go, my Kennedy Ryan is going to be my book with a BIPOC protagonist. And I believe this is a second chance romance. Love Kennedy Ryan's work. She's the author that wrote the book Grip, and I stayed up almost all night reading that book. This other one I had in the last video I recorded, and so I used it for Bleak House, so I know that this was serialized in the 1800s, 1852 to 1853. Serialized means that they put it into the newspapers. Some of you may not know that. Just clarifying. That's 2, 3. Actually, was a library book. Next one is memoir. There's one memoir I've been wanting to read. I could see if I could combine those two prompts, a library book and a memoir, and get that and place a hold on Finding Me by Viola Davis. If it comes in, that will be my memoir and my library book. I'm going to use both of them for that prompt, simply because I don't have any memoirs. I know that might be cheating, but I also do not go to the library either. And a lot of my books are checked out through Scribd, not the library anymore. All right. A book mentioned by your favorite author. This could be Roddy Sager, Ruth Ware, Simone St. James, Sarah J. Maas, or Dean Koontz. So let me go do some research. Okay, I'm back. So I couldn't find anything that Dean Koontz had ever mentioned, and so I went with Simone St. James because I've read a lot of books by her, and I really like everything she's ever written that I've read. And so I went to actually her Goodreads to see what she had read in 2023, and we have a lot of the same tastes. We've read a lot of the same books. For instance, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of her 15 books that she read were books I've read this past year. So it was between Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood and 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. I do have Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, but I went with an audiobook from the library, and I may have to see if I can get it through Scribd because I only have it until the 1st. If I can't get it, another 2 weeks. But so I went with 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. It's only 7 hours, so it can't be very long. But this is about 9 strangers receive a list with their names on it in the mail. Nothing else, just a list of names on a single sheet of paper. None of the 9 people know or have met the others on the list. They dismiss it as junk mail, a fluke, until very, very bad things begin happening to people on the list. So, that is my next book. And that is a book mentioned by your favorite author. So, that took quite a bit of time. I'm not choosing another. I'm taking that one out. And I'm not looking at any of these on this. I don't even read the local newspaper. I've got to find some books off of my challenge. All right. book written at least 100 years ago. So this is 2024, so 1924. Oh, this is horrible. Okay, so let me see. We'll come back to that one. Start a new series. I have one. This was from the last. Okay, here's my start a new series. These Hollow Vows. It's just a duology, but it's still one of these books that I picked should fit that prompt. Okay. I need to go find out my February pick for my Agatha Christie read along. And I think I know my Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte was written in 1847. Well, it was published in 1847. Oh, A Caribbean Mystery. Anyway, start a new series. A book featuring an amateur sleuth. That can also be my neurodivergent author prompt as well. In my challenge, I don't really want to put a reread on there, but I have Bridge to Haven. Once I finish Dangerous Beauty, which I'm working on, I will move on to Mode of Transportation on the cover. There is a car on Bridge to Haven, and so that will get this prompt right here. I wasn't even recording, but I drew out a book with chapter titles. So, Gentleman in Moscow, A Man Called Uwe, which if I pick A Man Called Uwe, it's just going to roll over, and because it's on this month list, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. But I kind of don't want to read that because I have so many big books already. So, I think I would rather do A Gentleman in Moscow. The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. That is on there. And that is one I want to read. Okay. So now I'm going to see if I can get The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll do one more. Roll a d6. Read a book with that many words in the title. Okay. Now, I don't have a lot of room up here because my books are here. Maybe I'll get a 5 and I can put House of Flame and Shadow. I didn't even get House of Sky and Breath on there. Okay, I didn't know if it rolled or not. I think I actually got 6 and I hit it again. But it was on a 6, I didn't know if it rolled. So it does have a 5 on there, and you'll see it on them. So I can stop recording. So that means I am going to put House of Flame and Shadow on my anything. And I'm going to draw one more. Not that I'm going to, I'll actually put a House of Flame and House of Sky and Breath on here. Because I may not even remember these ones that don't have a book, a physical book. Read the next book in a series. There we go. House of Flame and Shadow. Okay. And let's see. I have House of Flame and Shadow on my challenge. I have Bridge to Haven on my challenge. I have These Hollow Vows on my challenge. So I need, oh, and The Mysterious Miss Christie. So those are 4. So I do not need any more. I also have my, for my Read Your Bookshelf challenge with Chantel, it's read a book under 250 pages. I could go with this reread of Miss Marple book, which is 217, or the Anne Bronte book, which is 159, I think is what it just said. I still have to read my one with a dog on the cover. So, let's review. I'm just going to pick these up and read a book with chapter titles is The Mysterious Mrs. Christie. Read the next book in a series is The House of Flame and Shadow. Roll a die and read a book with as many words in the title. And I put both of those slips in this one until I get my other one. House of Sky and Breath. A memoir and a library book is Viola Davis's memoir. An Amateur Sleuth and my read along with Chantel's Patreon is A Caribbean Mystery. A book written over 100 years ago, Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. I'm so looking forward to this. Start a new series, These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, and this is on my challenge. My buddy read with my friend Chris is Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers, and this is also on my challenge. My classic, and one of my classics, Agnes Grey was one of the classics I chose for this year too, and written in the 1800s, is Bleak House. And then a book with a BIPOC protagonist is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I'm not finished. A book mentioned by your favorite author is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. So, here is my book stack with a couple that have not either come in or are on the phone, the Kindle. So, hello everybody. So, I left this clip out and then I recorded this clip and then I forgot that I left a book out of this clip. So, I meant to spin the wheel for my 12 books recommended by 12 friends. We all know that I have more than 12 on that because I am an overachiever. And I couldn't tell any of my friends no. So I forgot to put in my husband's book that he recommended. And I made him recommend me a book first. So I'm screen recording now, and there are my, oops, you don't need to see my avatar. There are my books with the one that I spun the wheel last clip and the one that my husband recommended. And so here is the wheel. Place is by Gilbert Morris, and it was recommended by my friend Miss Ellen Bowling. And this gentleman, I believe she said, used to live in Arkansas, and he writes about Arkansas, but he now lives in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Maybe he just wrote about Arkansas, I don't know. But this is his first one in his Singing River series. And if time is running low, I could always switch these hollow vows with this one, because it says start a new series. I could start this series. This is called The Home Place. It says, Lainey took out her journal and dated it April 12th, 1928. She started the habit of writing down everything that happened to her when she was no more than 8 years old, and now she had 6 journals completely full. She thought about the prize at school, almost prayed to win, but somehow she could not. God, she finally said, I'll do my best, and if you'll help me, that's all I ask. 14-year-old Lainey Bell Freeman of Fairhope, Arkansas, has high hopes for her future. Happy on the 5-acre family home place, she dreams of going to college and becoming a writer. And with her father launching a new business and her mother expecting the 5th baby, the bright days of an early southern spring seemed to herald expansive new beginnings for the Freeman family. But her mother isn't as strong as she should be, and it's going to take time for the business to pay back the mortgage. When unexpected tragedy strikes, it is left to Lainey to keep the family together and hold on to their home. In a world shaken by the Great Depression, it is faith in God and love in a tightly knit family that will help Lainey and her siblings overcome the odds and create a future that promises the fulfillment of love. So that is my book. That is one of my 12, recommended by 12. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am much happier with my outcome, and I hope you have a wonderful month of reading. Let me know what you are reading in the comments below. If you would like to read any of these with me, let me know. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.